Welcome back to the North American LCS in our first game of the day. Dignitas versus Team Solo Mid. Dig will be looking to restake their claim to first place with a win here.
Yeah, true to form, Dignitas started off the week with a win, bringing their record up to 8-1 for games that start or are in the middle of the week. But in their game yesterday against Evil Geniuses, Dignitas got off to a fairly sloppy start. They did show discipline in the late game, though, and were able to pull out the win with some strong late-game moves, which has not actually been something that this team can always rely on.
And so far, this matchup has favored Dignitas, with both wins going their way. But Team Solo Mid has been playing much better and started their week off with a win as well.
Yesterday, TSM made a few mistakes of their own in the early game. Like Bjergsen, sort of overreaching with that Twisted Fate ultimate up to the top lane, which resulted in a 1-for-2 trade. But he learned quickly from his mistake, and the next time that he popped his TF ultimate, he took stock of the situation before rushing in, and he actually changed directions, getting a kill on the bottom side of the map instead. Really, I have to say the whole team showed an ability to fix mistakes on the fly that game, which is promising for them moving forward.
That's right. The start of a game can be a lonely place. You can find yourself in lane facing off, sometimes mano-a-mano. And not surprisingly, the pros have adversaries that they look forward to facing and others they dread.
The player I look forward to playing the most against is probably Xiao Zhao. I'm not really known for my CSing ability, but every single time I play against him, I feel like, I have to match him.
I really like playing versus CLG's bot lane. They're really good. They always know what to be doing. Every time I face them, it's like really fun, and I try my hardest.
They still keep going for the kills. The hook on the double lift, he goes right through the team and threads the needle.
For me, I think it's Cloud9's bot lane. Lemon's kind of this older, smarter player. He's like the brains, and Sneaky's kind of like the younger, more like trainee.
Vasily, he has this kind of like stupid aggression, like brainless, run into you and hit you. And I play that exact same style.
No stranger to being on the front line. Morgan shot one more time. PewDiePie actually is not inside the shockwave.
If there's a person I hated laying against, it'd definitely be Voyboy. He plays some really weird stuff. He plays, full tank casted, for example.
But I don't like playing against Xiao Zhao because he's really, really good. He'll only fight me when he knows he can kill me, and then he'll always beat me in farm. So it's almost like this kind of like little rabbit I can't catch, but he's like eating all my carrots.
Dignitas, we don't have much trouble with them, but sometimes we do screw up, and it's like, all right, just died to them. They're probably laughing their heads off.
Yeah, when we kill like Special and Cop, it's like, that's like the best feeling in the world. They pick like the most defensive lanes, and it's like, oh god.
They're funny, just not fun to lose to, I guess.
So much love and hate and emotion that goes into the laning phase, man.
As a spectator, I love that brainless aggression style they were talking about. That's always fun to watch.
That's good for our side, absolutely. Let's do a quick roster rundown to see what the teams are bringing to the table. On the blue side, it's Dignitas. That means it's Zion Spartan in the top lane, Crumbs will be in the jungle, Shifter in mid lane, and I'm a QtPie Kiwi Kid clocking in at AD and support.
And on the red side, it's Team Solo Mid. Up top is Dyrus. In the jungle, Amazing. Mid, Bjergsen. AD carry Wild Turtle. And support, Glebe.
And to start things off for our first match here on day 2, we'll be heading to the northern side of the map for Tango in the top lane. That's right, featured matchup is Zion Spartan versus Dyrus.
Yeah, and both of these teams won yesterday with the split push strategy executed by these two players. Zion Spartan is the man who's synonymous with split push, and he has more experience executing that strategy than anyone else in the league. And he was able to recover from a rough 0-2 start against Evil Geniuses to apply that late game pressure regardless of his scoreline.
Right, and meanwhile, we talked a lot about how Dyrus struggles with new champions. Well, yesterday he went back to Jax, a champ he's very comfortable on, and went even in a showdown with Renekton.
Yeah, I definitely want to highlight how impressive it is to go even as Jax versus Renekton. Zion had the exact same matchup yesterday, and he tried, in true Zion fashion, to make an aggressive play and outright kill the Renekton, only to fail and put himself into a hole.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Dyrus' play really highlighted the difference in these two players' styles. He was able to play safe, avoiding the kill pressure from Nekton and Evelynn while staying even in CS, and that's an impressive feat in itself. In the end, the results were the same, though. Both of those players had Jax beating on turrets in the late game by themselves.
You gotta get to that point in the game, and then everything's all right. Yep. Some TSM we've seen back in the all chat, Bjergsen was kind of shouting it out. They've been focusing a lot of the compositions that allows Dyrus to just do that split push, to thresh in the Elise out of the jungle. Long range grabs. Bjergsen saying, we just keep doing that over and over again. We're eventually going to get somebody. So they've been playing that quick pick comp most of the time.
Yeah, Loco was
TSM
talking about the few strategies that they go into Super Week with. He crosses them off if they fail with them in practice. Lets only the ones they feel confident through. We did see them fail with the top Gragas. Didn't quite work out with them, with Dyrus going full AP build.
Yeah. Still trying different things. And halfway through the split, I guess it's the time you got to pull out some of the stops. You need to start going only uphill from this point on to get to those worlds.
I'm very interested to see if TSM will go back to a more early game oriented strategy, because while they got the win yesterday, they weren't exactly happy with waiting around to scale up and having that rough early game. TSM's a team that always just like to have the upper hand from the beginning. They like to be stronger than you in lanes, control the dragons, win the team fights off of those, and get the wins before the 40-minute mark. Loco was talking about he doesn't really like to run those timer comps, specifically against Cloud9 and CLG. Let's see if they actually go with one of those early games versus Dig as well.
Just kind of canceling out the factor of danger in that one. They'll play whatever they want. Lee Sin, Kale, a lot of yellow, banned out from Team Solo Mid, a lot of blue from Dignitas. Let's see if we can keep it consistent. A few more to go out. A long time on these bans. That's second day of Super Week. Toying on the minds of the players. There's still quite a bit to go, and a Super Week is a great time to grab a good amount of wins for your record.
And while, Yasuo and Kale are fairly common bans here, we now have 3 jungle bans already. They could even ban out a 4th and go Jarvan or something like that, but they just leave it at the top 3. The top tier of junglers all banned out, and the rest of the bans are just really strong solo laners here that are very, very common. So really, Dignitas, I think there's some interesting choices now that pop up with junglers. You don't actually have to jump on your jungler pick early, though, because with the whole sort of top tier taken out, it opens up so many more options, and they can even leave that pick till later and pick up something that we haven't seen before. Like, Helios yesterday was using the Gragas.
Yeah. Could see a Lulu pickup here. It would be safe. Be an easy pickup. Gets through. A lot of mid actually got through coming in this one, but Braum will be first picked. He saw himself get banned out quite a bit yesterday. Kiwi Kid is happy about that.
Yeah, still widely regarded as the best, if one of the best, if not the best supports out there right now. His laning phase, not spectacular, but when it comes together with the team fights, he has so much crowd control, and his shield alone, just with his kit, he provides so much tankiness to your team. You can block so many key spells and ultimates of the opposing team with just a normal spell from Braum. Very strong first pick.
Kiwi loves that ability to initiate as well. He has it in his last 4 out of 5 games. Most of those being wins. Only 1 loss on that Braum there in that 4 out of 5. We'll see what else he can do against TSM. Looking at Ziggs for Bjergsen here as he just wants to get mid lane, possibly. Like we said, a lot of mids were left up, so it's kind of whatever they want.
Oh, first to jump on the Jax train here. I was wondering if that top lane would actually fight over the Jax this time around. It looks like TSM go right to it with Renekton up once again. Now these two guys know this matchup extremely well. So Renekton in the hands of Zion, he would probably be able to punish that Jax more so than Dyrus was punished yesterday. But as you said, Lulu is still up. Very good top laner. Flex pick all around. Could still go mid. So Dignitas here not giving away too much, except for the late game Cog already picked up. Their bottom lane's been locked in. Good thing to do against Braum is to shove him in. Caitlyn's really strong for that. Turtle loves Caitlyn as well. Probably lock that one in. If they go with duo lanes matching up, though, 2 versus 2, Nami is still available as well. Very strong laner herself. They could easily punish a Kog'Maw Braum lane fairly early on if they match up 2v2.
Lucian could be getting locked in here for Turtle. But still the same. He can add the pressure and get himself to the turret. See if they go. Another Jarvan coming in for amazing.
Yeah, they decided to jump on that Jarvan before Crumbs has a chance to, because the jungler has been left up. I and they're leaving their support pick till last because, not to counter pick or anything, just because they wanted to secure their jungler pick first and grab that one. Wild Turtle on Lucian should also be able to punish this Kog'Maw if they run into 2v2 lanes.
Oh, yeah.
What will they counter this Jax with?
Crumbs was kind of pressured onto that Vi before. That was a 0-5-1 game.
Yeah, and that is going to be a top lane Lulu then. We'll see how well he can control Dyrus, or if they go for lane swaps and try and get Kog'Maw out of that situation. Regardless though, Twisted Fate will be a force from the mid lane. Once Shifter hits 6, we'll see what he can do with that all-important first teleport from Twisted Fate. Try and get his side lanes rolling here. TSM, whenever you have a Twisted Fate pick up against you, now they're looking for something to deal with that pick. Because that's going to be some very forceful engage from TSM. TSM have Vi and Twisted Fate. Very, very strong engage. Looking at Nami still, because it's all around top 2 support at the moment.
A bit of disengage as well as that sustain we've been seeing so much in the bottom lane, and it does give you the upper hand.
So yeah, coming into this, oh, excuse me, I was confused. Dignitas are the ones with the Twisted Fate and Vi. They're the ones with the hard engage, which I really like because you need that hard engage when you see the Jax locked in early. So Dignitas are looking to hard engage on the 4-man squad. They're going to try and punish TSM for going with a split push. If TSM try and have Jax isolated, Dig will go with some very, very hard engage here. Vi plus Twisted Fate and Braum.
Get the Monolith switched around, the players face to face. Remember, top lane matchup is our featured one. We'll be heading there every so often. But as we head into game, let's see how you've been voting over at lolesports.com. Right now, they're tipping your hat in favor of TSM. 55%, but a very close vote could change.
And you can also continue to weigh in on Twitter by sending your hashtag DIGWin or TSMWin to @LOLesports.
Shouldn't be too bad. Lulu will do fine against Jax in the top lane for now. It'll be what these guys, I think, can bring to the late game, who can really outplay each other. We saw Zion Spartan getting himself in trouble in that Renekton-Jax matchup because he went a little early. It was forgetting when Renekton was going to hit 6. So it wasn't really his play in CSing. It was realizing at what time the lane was at, and it kind of got under his skin on that one.
Keeping track of experience is very important for solo lanes. If you're not sure when your opponent's going to hit level 6, a minion dies or something, it can cost you a death, as it did cost Zion Spartan. This time around, though, we've seen so much success for the teams that have been picking up Twisted Fate, especially in these split push games, because Twisted Fate adds one more tool for this team to counter the top laner with teleport. We'll see if Dig can make those forceful moves with TF, though, and dictate the pace of the game early on.
He can still be that playmaker. We saw High getting beat up pretty bad yesterday on Twisted Fate, really giving the runaround. But then once he got his Zanyas, he was flash initiating fights over walls. Shifter's no stranger to being strong on that one. And usually not dying in his engagements either.
So key with Twisted Fate here is that he actually can get pushed in by Ziggs. And Jarvan is one of those champions that can dive a TF behind his turret. We saw it yesterday versus High. We'll see if Amazing hangs around mid often and tries to pressure that Twisted Fate Shifter. Also, something that we have been seeing is the ghosting out to put a ward by a lot of these mid laners that run Flash Ghost. Dade starting that one off in Korea, and Link picking it up yesterday. They go for the 5-man invade.
Whoa! What a bubble! 3 bubble. Some real trouble right there. Counter-Strike was taken by Dyrus, so they know he's not going to be closing any gaps. And he has to run out of this one.
Kiwi Kid burning his Ignite for that as well, though. So it is a win for TSM, even though they were sort of chased out of their own jungle here and forced to retreat. They come ahead 1 summoner spell.
Yeah. And that has now pushed them to 72%.
Yeah, that's what
an Ignite will do.
What an Ignite will do for you.
So it looks like home turf for TSM right now. We'll see if the crowd behind them will give what they need. So far, so good. They're going to get the regular matchups. Yes, looks like Zion Spartan heading to the top lane, so they are going to be pushing each other in for that duo.
The other thing about this mid lane matchup, which should be very interesting, is Shifter starting with his boots to be able to dodge those bouncing bombs from Bjergsen. He doesn't want to get harassed low and get put in the situation where Amazing has the opportunity to dive him. Doesn't want to dive pre-6 so that he can get off to a fairly good start. We've talked so much about the importance of being able to dodge skill shots and how you constantly have to practice. You know, as Bjergsen lands one right on his head. You know, dodging skill shots is something that will cost even the best players in the game. Deft recently getting caught by a lot of death sentences caused them to actually lose the game. Nobody thought that would happen. Pretty big upset. It's happened to Double Lift. It's happened to Turtle. See how well Shifter's able to dodge out in the mid lane.
So many things you got to think of, especially in the bottom lane. Usually you're listening to your support and they're saying, whoa, somebody's coming. You're watching the CS. That's one thing I always give supports credit for. You're auto-attacking. They're the one making the plays. Dyrus and Zion Spartan now trading some noodle shots.
Right.
Oh, dear.
So Zion here, yes, he bullies Dyrus and takes down a lot of his HP, but Dyrus knows exactly what he's doing here. He got his 10 CS, so he was up a couple CS there, knew that he was going to burn most of his HP because he wanted to recall at the time the jungler is going to go for their first gank. So that 3-minute recall for Dyrus, timed aggression right there. Dyrus is not always a passive player. He will go aggressive when he sees a window for himself. He goes back to base, gets some more potions, mana on top of his health potions, to return to lane with more sustain. He still hasn't had to use his Trinket Ward either because he avoided that little window, the 3-minute window of double buff by going back to base. Now though, back on that side of the map, Crumbs returning since they've seen Dyrus, and Zion has done a good job communicating to Crumbs that the ward hasn't been placed.
And this makes it even juicier because if they do take him down, he's got a long walk back to lane for Zion Spartan to pretty much farm this out. So they didn't give him enough of what they wanted, though.
Yeah, that is the drawback of the strategy Dyrus went with. The early teleport being burned by him. It's a gambit. And it looks like it will pay off because Crumbs goes mid.
Oh, the gold card right after the Q. The Vault Breaker hits a few more shots. He gets the satchel charge. That's the auto attack they need. Shifter brings himself in some cash. Woo, that was close.
Great choice from Crumbs there to go back around to mid, seeing that this Ziggs would be pushing his TF in. And he makes Bjergsen pay for trying to abuse that lane, gets in right behind him. Beautiful Vault Breaker from the back.
Nice full charge on that. Zion Spartan returns to lane, and this gives Shifter a little bit of a let's get up and go. He's never one to really die that much, and when you give him the snowball, he's going to start rolling it real fast down the hill.
Ooh, missing that canyon. Not good sign for Dyrus right there.
Things are getting a little tougher.
Solo laners actually kind of rage a little bit when they miss their cannon minion kills. Actually,
don't you remember the old Dyrus?
Even
the old Dyrus image where he's calm, he dies, he's gank, he's calm, he misses a minion, and then he's like freaking out.
Yeah, exactly. He returns back to base though on that half cooldown teleport. It's going to be a long walk back. He's trying to power farm and then return to base while his lane is pushed up. Then power farm again, return to base. It's an interesting strategy to go to against a laner like Lulu, who's very annoying for melee laners. Really, he's just trying to kill the minions as quickly as possible, use his health pool and the counter strike, and then return to lane later. It's very effective because it's causing Zion to use a lot of mana to harass Dyrus, and then Zion is not shoving the lane after. Right now, though, it will expose him to ganks.
And here it is again. Right towards the turret, taking a few. Well, there's always one thing about Dyrus. He is consistent in what he does.
Yep. So far he's been able to stay close in CS here, pretty much even, dead even.
Yeah.
But now he is on the back foot, having to wait for his health potions to top him off. And again, Crumbs is in the top side, but Dyrus has been able to ward up.
Yeah. Crumbs might be able to sneak around a Baron wall, but I don't think he'll go for that attempt. So good wards for Dyrus. He'll be safe in the top lane. Shifter still getting pushed back a bit. He is 6, but there's really nothing to work on the Destiny right now. Looks like they want to put some pressure onto him, and a good pink ward placed by Dig gives it up.
Yeah, and
there it is.
Shifter has also gone with the early chalice because he's trying to avoid getting shoved in. Wants to spam his wild cards and have that magic resist to deal with the harass from Bjergsen.
Interesting. Shifter may have gotten a little tell there. Bjergsen started to hover topside mid. A lot of everybody is upstairs now. You got Crumbs just on the backside of Zion Spartan. Let's see if Crumbs again can alter this featured matchup. Dyrus just.
They might go for it right when Counter-Strike is down. That's a pretty big cooldown.
They got a new wave.
He's down at half too. It looks like Crumbs, since they didn't go off that Counter-Strike, Crumbs might be just waiting for a counter gank then.
Right.
Because that would be a pretty good window for him.
Maybe Zion Spartan.
Yeah, he was just waiting for that counter gank.
Well read by both sides. A little bit of hesitation and safety to be had. He is just able to take Dyrus down chunks each time he hits a Glitter Lance. Dyrus will be backing. His teleport's up, so right quick back to the lane as it crashes into the turret.
Crumbs really wants to use his level 6 buy, though. As soon as you get that ulti, you want to get one of those ganks off. But he didn't go in with any rash attempt top, and I like that. He showed a little bit of more safety-minded awareness from Crumbs. Let's see. Walks all the way down to Dragon, and they've got perfect vision control.
Zion Spartan should actually have teleport up after this, so they are getting a push on the mid lane. No answer here from Team Solo Mid. Crumbs gets himself the Dragon along with the team in his own bucket.
They trade that for solo experience for Dyrus, though. Dyrus gets alone time up in that top lane.
Yeah.
Zion does not have his teleport up. So Zion swinging down to mid lane to cover for that Dragon. A couple of waves given to the Jax and in payment for that Dragon. TSM actually okay with that trade. Nowadays, though, Dragon worth a lot more, so see if TSM can get anything more out of this.
Dyrus, he's got a ward for himself, and an amazing as well, so it looks like they are easily going to be able to stay down here, already giving the coverage they need. Looks like they're going to get double blue buffs. Very nice.
So they do get more out of it. Not only do they get the lane, couple of waves for Dyrus, but also blue buff. Interesting trade right there. Brings the gold a little bit closer as well.
Start denying one of the key members here, Shifter, what he needs to help the team get rolling. 1 kill for him so far. Crumbs has been doing pretty good, being in the right places at the right time, and Dragon helps make up for a little bit of those losses.
Yeah, really that last decision by Crumbs to not go for the dive and go for the safer Dragon really speaks to his mentality on the new patch. He's been really outspoken about how important Dragons are to him on the new patch, and he really just showed it right there.
Falling behind on Vi.
In the past, he may have gone for that dive, but not on 410. So we'll see if Dignitas actually set up early for the next Dragon as well, because they have the perfect timer on it, whereas TSM will have to estimate it.
This will be a great gank. Double knock-up. Dyrus will get hit. He doesn't even have it warded. Just knows. Spidey sense is tingling. Good nade up top. Bjergsen. I just call it a nade? Wow. That's some old school Counter-Strike.
It's got a more impressive name.
Good Mega Inferno Bomb up top. And we're going to see it cleared out. Dyrus back to lane. He'll be farming it still. It's actually 83 to 63 in that lane now. So Zion Spartan with the pressure. And with Dyrus kind of playing this power farm backing game. That's a bit of CS.
Yeah, interesting how Crumbs actually, he completed his jungle item pretty quickly there. But as soon as he completed it, he went looking for other moves on the map and didn't really hard farm. So he stacked it all the way up. He got his conservation all the way up there. And now he really cashes in. It was waiting there at 80 for a while, though. Again, so much top lane focus here. And Dyrus knows it. He's aware that he has no vision. And Crumbs hanging around. Dyrus is not going to go in the experience range until Amazing actually arrives for the defense.
This is a big influx that they can grab, though. If this fight goes in their favor, if the turret as well, that already goes down. We get a little bit of a cat and mouse game between Amazing and Crumbs, between Tribrush on the top side. He doesn't know if he wants to gank top or gank bottom, but he's pinched between 2 wards right now.
Right, just getting chased
oh,
down.
okay.
Yeah.
That could be the Salt and Battery.
Whoa.
Dives down in. That's going to be the teleport from Shifter as well. They lock down Dyrus. He doesn't have mana to get in or out. That's Shifter. He's trying to get out of range, but they're still inside the brush with the turret hitting them. Very nice play from Dig to get a little bit more out of this game.
Yeah, calculated. Very strong communication this time around. Deciding to go for it only because Shifter is able to roam top. Strong job punishing this Jax pick. Pretty much how you would want this game to play out on paper so far for Dignitas.
See what they can keep doing. Shifter with a good teleport there. Bjergsen was kind of waiting on Inferno to come back up from that last nade top. So they really played everything perfectly in that window. Dignitas is...
At least call it an Inferno nade or like a Mega nade.
Yeah, next time. There'll be more, I hope.
Mega nade. It's the upgrade Gatorade that Bjergsen drinks. Only sold at Burger King.
Man.
That was too much, wasn't it? Freak cast with me yesterday for the first time in a long time. He kind of infected me.
I'm sorry.
Darius is back to his solo farming
We'll
up
sterilize
top, though.
during this cast.
Okay.
3K gold. Darius doing what he can. He is getting a good push on that lane, though. If he's left there for as long as he can be up there, he's not, obviously, like we said, the aggressive Jax, but he will provide enough pressure to hopefully start spreading Dignitas thin. Zion Spartan's wild growth in these fights is going to be a very big impact because they're going to want that kill immediately. Amazing's going to go in, and then they're going to have all these shields and all this defense from Braum and Zion Spartan.
Yeah, exactly. They've got multiple options. Uh-oh. Crumbs, though, gets caught. He's got no option.
Not very many options on this one. That's going to be Wild Turtle coming over the wall, and they do give the kill to the 80 carry.
But because Dig, before this, were playing the game so well with their battle plan, there's nothing on the map for TSM to capitalize after that kill. The Dragon was already taken by Dig. The top lane turret was already taken. Their bottom lane had already shoved up. So Dignitas, with their strong early game, has actually protected themselves against this retribution from TSM in the mid game. Even though it was risky for Crumbs to go for that deep vision, they aren't punished too badly for him getting caught.
I always like to say that, you know, the gold lead gives you time. A little bit of time to make errors, this and that. Obviously, if you die with a Baron, you're okay, but it sucks that you died with a Baron.
Yeah, but we've seen so many teams get the early lead so far this Super Week and then make these mid-game mistakes that actually cost them the game. So this one wasn't punished too badly, but if they continue to make those mistakes, TSM will gladly take that gold and wait for Dyrus on Jax to scale up in damage.
That turned around a little bit, but Dyrus' mana bar is
that
big.
was
He's
a
completely
bold
out.
move.
They miss the wild growth.
Move. Dyrus is playing with fire.
Whoa,
Yep,
whoa,
is
whoa.
up as well.
No! Oh my gosh.
They can still keep chasing.
So this is a dragon for all this. Zion Spartan being a one-man troop up here. The throw, that's a flash for a flash. He wants it so much. Yeah, but you got Whimsy coming out for 5 seconds on a blue buff. You're not going to be catching a Lulu. What a chase.
They're still going, though. Amazing is going really deep
Oh,
here.
he's going to fake it and back. Is he just going to farm still?
All right,
what
Amazing's just going to steal this blue buff. But yeah, once again, timed for Dignitas here. They get the second dragon out of that. And all that commotion top. TSM more distracted.
That's getting spread thin right there. Who is going to be able to split push harder? And it's Zion Spartan.
And they immediately move from dragon up to mid lane. Dignitas.
Wow.
Capitalizing on Zion Spartan. This is one of the things that people really wanted to see when Zion was on coast. Because Zion could draw so much attention up to himself in a top lane. He's bullying Dyrus. He's getting very deep in TSM territory. This time around, when all of TSM are attracted to that top lane, Dignitas punished them really, really quickly for it. Very clean execution from Dig. Dragon and mid turret, huge for them. They really want to take this mid game and run with it.
Zion Spartan's really good in those tight moments of just kind of being able to somehow dodge 3 or 4 people. You remember him on Nasus, taking down inhibitors by himself in 3v1 situations on Coast. He loves that style of play. Puts himself in that environment and thrives. Now we have the lane pushing into Cutie Pie. He's going to try and get some free farm in the top lane now. Let's see what he can get out. The Triforce finished. Wild Turtle rushing that Infinity Edge for his Lucian. Slow moving now for Dig as they got a little bit of what they wanted. And now they kind of have to get the ward coverage out to take some more. TSM's going to start clearing that, though.
And they actually also just pulled a very nice lane swap here.
Right.
Because they want to get more farm onto Cutie now, sending Hin up top after that long wave pushed up to their turret. They put pressure on the last perimeter turret here with Zion going down bottom. Supplemented by Kiwi Kid's crowd control. This is a very, very frustrating bottom
Iris already
lane
did
to
like
get
the
out.
1v1.
TSM would have to work very hard to evict Zion and Kiwi from this bottom lane. They're going to try, though. The Jax and Jarvan combo here are going to do their best to hold on.
You can tell.
Their best is not good enough, though.
Crumb's clearing out the bottom side of the jungle, so they feel a little bit safer to split push in that area. Whoa! Did he just flashed for that, but he almost like negated his distance. Glebe gets out of that one alive. That was weird. Zion Spartan's gonna move. He'll be safe. Whimsy gets his red buff slow off. A little bit of a misengage there.
Yeah, a lot
Destiny was used as well.
A lot of tools blown
Yeah.
for Dignitas there, and Glebe's even able to get out alive with just his flash. Being patient there. It's flat. It's a cool move to do the Vault Breaker flash.
Oh yeah.
But in this case, he knew that there was.
Oh! The Q! He jumps! Oh, he bops him right in the head.
Zion getting punished there for the no armor build.
He's all right.
Zion was just going super hard push. He got maximum cooldown reduction with the mana regeneration, so he can just shove waves over and over. But Dyrus, in those range versus melee matchups, a lot of the time the range can bully the melee champion early on, and if left alone. However, the melee almost always has the kill pressure. And Dyrus has finally been able to take advantage. There's the familiar sound.
Jack is a fickle champion to
Can
fight.
TSM get to the point, though, where Dyrus is able to be the stronger split pusher?
It's been a while since we've seen Dyrus kind of be the dominant titan in a game, back when he used to play Jace and just crush people, back when his Shyvana was the one to be the initiation and the strength and not just teleport into an already occurring fight. So we may see him kind of changing, turning over a new leaf.
He's definitely getting there. The blade completion will help him out a lot. Just finishing that Blade of the Ruined King, now he has that extra slow to go for the all-in with Zion Spartan. See if he can actually 1v1 him again.
Support Wars next at 11.
And then again at 12. And then again at 1 a.m. It's going to be a long fight.
20 minutes into this one. Good fight from both teams so far. Definitely wanting the win right out of the gate. A little bit more from Dignitas. Crumbs has some good moves towards the mid lane, but hasn't really shut down Bjergsen too much. 230 to 168 in farm in that lane.
Yeah, he has been able to shove Bjergsen there. But the ultimates from Twisted Fate were fairly strong. Shifter with the one
Shifter's
top.
made the moves he's needed to, though, to be very helpful to the team.
Controlling that mid decently.
Got the Zanyas quite quick for a little bit of playmaking.
And let's check in on those support wars, because really what happens with the support wars, results are shown on the map with where the vision control is. And this time around, Kiwi has also enlisted Cutie Pie to help him. So they're going with the duo trying to get vision here and defending the wards that Kiwi Kid risked his life to put down. Cutie Pie is going to help him out there.
Uh-oh.
No flash this time for Glebe, remember.
Oh, he used the shield to stop it up. Cutie Pie's hit the long-range Bio Arcane and the Living Artillery. Kog'Maw isn't supposed to get a double kill. That's not what TSM wanted to see.
Kiwi running low on HP there, but we just saw one of the reasons why so many of these North American teams have recently been having so much success with Twisted Fate.
Yeah.
The ward wars are such a good way to pick a fight with these teams that are not paying attention. They seem to be forgetting about Twisted Fate's ultimate, the cooldown being up so often, and they continually get engaged on over these fights for very small objectives. Just that one ward in the Pixel Bush, the huge, Braum Shield, we talked about the power of that, blocking everything that Glebe could throw out. And the great engage as well, we got a preview of it here. Woo! Close one.
Squeeze it tight.
So yeah, we got the preview of the Vibe plus Twisted Fate right there.
Yeah.
TSM definitely going to have to watch their step now. As we said, with the Twisted Fate on Dignitas, they have that extra tool for catching people out in the mid game. And with all the turrets now down, we're going to see more of this. Dig slowly moving up their line of wards into TSM territory. And then if TSM try and fight them over that line of wards, then Dig will go with a hard engage.
And if it's
jump
not
right
even,
back in.
If it's not even over the line of wards, you're seen by Living Artillery or Destiny to find you out. They have a lot of options. Very, very safe play. And like you said, the wards from Dignitas have pretty much been since day one of the summer split. Crumbs has kind of been loving that vision, even more since the spring split.
And we saw him die once for it already. When in the early game, he was going to put those down. But those deep wards do pay off for them later if he's able to get them down.
Got to have the money to place them. It's a dangerous, dangerous thing. 6,000 gold, though. That lead has been going up quite fast. Amazing, very good mental play here. He's going to go ahead and get some vision, but wow. Instantly taken down to half HP from just a few hits.
At what cost, Riv? At the cost of half of his life. Bjergsen, though, at least he has blue buff for TSM's sake. Trying desperately to wave clear.
Zion Spartan gets some great vision in the top lane of 3.
Oh yeah, he gets to watch that double golem twins getting taken down.
Very good ping coming out from Team Solo Mid. They're saying it seems like it would be free now to clear wards out, but he needs a buddy. That's going to be Wild Turtle, it seems. We'll just hover up with Glebe, and they're safe. Zion Spartan in the bottom lane to start clearing out. Looking at that matchup, still 199, 174, not too bad. And we've seen Dyrus in the 1v1 start to come back strong.
Yeah, if worse comes to worse for Zion, though, he can always just hug his turret.
Yeah.
You know, he's building for the team fights, and, you know, he's got cooldown reduction, mana regeneration, and now working towards death cap. So he'll be extremely effective in team fights. In the 1v1, pretty much all he has to do is clear these waves out. So he's got plenty of AP now for his Glitter Lance. He can continually clear out the waves that Dyrus pushes up to his turret. As long as he's able to hold his ground under the turret, Zion's doing his job.
Well, it could be quite a long time, Kobe. Both times these teams played, it's gone over 40 minutes, so we'll be in for a treat.
And Dig, they keep on burning a lot of their health on these Baron attempts, when really, I feel like they should just be baiting more since they've been able to... Whoa!
Hello! Can anybody close that distance, though? Kiwi Kid throwing out a Fisher, so they get a little bit of ground movement from both teams. Amazing throws out the cat, Kiwi Kid with the Fisher.
Couple ultis for ultis. Shifter flashed down.
Shifter did flash. That'll be nice for them to have next time.
Zion doing his best to annoy Dyrus in his attempts to farm. Teleport is up for both of these.
Oh, there goes Destiny in the mid lane. Throwing out the red card on a turtle. He gets over the wall with Relentless Pursuit very nicely. Actually flashed for that one. And it looks like the team is going to be holding strong for Dignitas in mid. They are low as they back off of this one.
Yeah, both of their hard engaged cooldowns blown here. Twisted Fate ultimate, Vi ultimate, not going to be there. And Braum had used his earlier, so there was no follow-up. Sort of the third round of CC from Dig, not able to lock down TSM. And TSM, they're on the back foot, but that was a good sign that they were able to escape that engage in the 4 versus 4. It's up really to Dig to, again, force this issue of the vision war. That's the safest way for Dignitas to try and catch out TSM.
We just saw him do it to Glebe. It was a double kill for AmaCutie Pie as they went up towards the blue buff. Zion Spartan and Kiwi Kid safely rushing down middle, and this huge change in that. That was 78 before, 78% in favor of TSM, now 56-44.
Dignitas have something in mind right now because Zion has got his blue elixir. Mid-game blue elixir. I think that means he must have also completed his death cap. No. Yes, he did. So he completed his death cap, and immediately that increases the value of your elixir because you do get that extra bonus added to your elixir too. So it's even more efficient of a buy. And Zion has a very big power spike right now with that sitting on him. But this is going to have to return to try and defend against Dyrus.
Destiny's almost up. You can see that Dignitas is trying to clear around the Baron area. This looks like they're trying to do a little bit more of the take instead of lose their HP to Baron. The take works. Glebe goes down. But this is the answer now from TSM. Is it too much for Dig to handle? Amazing is quite tanky. Gets a nice Q to shred out both Crumbs and Kiwi Kid, but there's no follow-up.
And look at the patience from Dig. They make the call for Zion to hold his teleport. Even with the threat of the Jarvan Jax hard engaging and sticking to Dig, they had the confidence to escape that and come away with a huge lead. Not only did they get the kill, but the teleport advantage is going to be very, very big for them.
Oh, man. This is going to be huge. They're going for Dragon. Zion's got a gigantic wave in the bottom lane, and now there's pressure to Baron. TSM is spread so thin, they can't even get one person over to Baron.
Crumbs
right now.
with that Trinity Force build, really risky.
They get Shifter in, trying to micro in that damage. You can't really do the aggro dance with Baron. He's just gonna hurt, but Dignitas prevails. They grab Baron at 27 minutes in.
And how did they start that off? The Vision Wars. This time, they didn't start attacking Baron. They waited for the pick first. They got the pick onto TSM, and after that, returning for their prize. So they have to do the work first, and then you get to go for Baron.
Great map movement all around from Dignitas, giving them everything they need. They've been able to keep that 6,000 gold lead. Still very slow in the turret game. The map pressure is kind of just wavering back and forth between objective team fights right now. But I guess that's helping Team Solo Mid, really. If Dyrus can start getting a lot bigger from those fights, from just being alone all the time, he's going to be wreaking havoc in these fights.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be too late for him, though, because Zion is so strong right now with all the global gold that Dignitas have been holding on to this whole game.
That's
with
true,
all their
and he's
control.
up, yes.
He's now working on armor. So he went with that full team fight build, and now he's got the arm guard working towards that Zanya. So he's extremely strong right now, even in comparison to Jax, who's almost at the double item power spike.
Right.
It might never get to the point for TSM, though, where they really get to use him effectively as a split pusher.
Yeah. Sheen was actually just built 8 minutes ago. That would have definitely been a nice power spike to have. But like you said, with the armor, Zion Spartan will be happy to take some empowered shots.
And even if Dyrus does get that strong, a 2 offensive item Jax is not that
happy.
great
I lied.
in the
He's not
late game
happy.
team fights, because Dyrus can get CC'd by the Braum counter engage, plus Lulu can use her ult defensively. She doesn't have to use it on Crumbs when he goes in. They can save all of these tools for a late game Jax. If Jax does become a problem, they have plenty of crowd control to deal with him. Whimsy, Braum, everything. They have a lot of options here for Dig. It's looking very strong for them.
Turn him into a little dragon. Do whatever you want. Good push here on the wave. This is going to be a hard turret to secure here for TSM. There's the teleport in. Somehow Zion Spartan got the turret on himself, actually. Dyrus jumps out of that, throws down his ultimate to Grandmaster, though. Here comes the Mega Inferno Bomb in. They throw out the ultimate when it can still be used for the fight. We'll see if Dignitas can hold strong in this. They're getting great damage on the turret for the amount of what's been used. Can they keep pushing?
Yes, sir. Take down the turret. The Baron buff going to regenerate them as well, so they don't have to return to base right now. All 3 lanes pushing for them. They can easily rotate over to another objective. Top outer is the last outer turret that is standing for them. Oh, never mind, mid turret as well. That one's still here.
Really great control over the map as Dignitas has been getting when they have their wins. If they can fall into this mark, it usually is theirs. That's their weakness coming kind of into the summer split, is if they don't get ahead early, will they be able to kind of recuperate? Do they have a team that they build in Champion Select that can recuperate? It's starting to become a harder thing as the games get longer.
Yeah, it looks like this game, Dig really have had the superior plan all game long. Shifter going with the hard engaged Twisted Fate for just wave clear and the initiate, pushing Zanya's into death cap after his Athenes and not going for the split push Lich Bane because they have Zion who can hold his own and just go for the wave clear. Really, they've been using this Twisted Fate for picks, not for split pushing. And the picks have been effective. Every time he comes in, usually targeting Dyrus, they've been able to pick him off in the side lane and grab an objective afterwards.
Cutie Pie going for Blade to the Rune King into Triforce here, and then the Infinity Edge for Kog'Maw. Knowing the game will go a little bit later, he has time to build that up. The Giants bout built up on Crumb so he can get a few more safer initiations in and hopefully live a little bit longer. TSM's just trying to clear out. They have the power to stop these sieges. Bjergsen's on Ziggs, and we haven't seen too much from him. He's been farming his face off, so we're still waiting to see an impact from the damage he can provide.
Yeah, they're trying to have Shifter just stall the game and wave clear for the team while they try and power up Dyrus. But again, even Dyrus still has his hands full. Zion with those completed Death Cap plus Athenes.
Not many moves they can make right now. Ward's all in. Dignitas has complete control of this jungle. Pinks, greens, everywhere. TSM should not be able to start grabbing these, but they are getting some damage on that top turret, and losing a ward for the turret will be fine with that.
Yeah, as seen by the ward placement, Vision Wars.
Yeah.
Won by Kiwi Kid and Dignitas. By the way, it's not just Kiwi Kid. You know, he's sort of the star of the Vision War, but Crumbs is definitely
hit the turret,
doing his part as well.
Still the very slow push. Dignitas giving TSM some room to breathe.
I'm really surprised, actually, that TSM did go back to this strategy, because they were talking about how they were not even really happy, even though they won the game yesterday. They didn't really like that style of waiting for the split push jacks. But again, it was left open, so they went right back to it. May have been them getting in their own heads trying to deny jacks from Zion.
Well, one thing TSM can do is kind of keep a consistent mind. They won't kind of fall out of the split push jacks. They won't try to just do something crazy and forget the composition they're trying to run. Some teams in a late game fall into that. They stretch themselves into an area where maybe we can try this, and when they would have just gone with the split push, that would have worked. TSM's a team that can keep their head
Dragon
in
can
line.
be luring TSM out into the map. This is an opportunity for Dignitas, once again, to go with a TF initiate into a Vi ulti. They just go for the mid rush
Drive
here.
down mid lane.
They'd rather take the turret, and they've got TSM in a bad spot. TSM cannot defend that outer one.
This would be huge for Dig to grab. Then they can freely move between these outer turrets. So much harder for TSM to stop now.
Whoa.
Turtle, holy macaroni. That's some HP.
That is an Infinity Edge Kog'Maw right now. He's got Infinity Edge plus his Trinity Force.
Oh, wow. Those few shots allow them to take an inhibitor turret as well. The inhibitor's going to be going down. Dignitas deciding to drive straight down middle. Gets 3 structures for themselves. And a great stop from Zion Spartan. They're going to be able to go to whatever lane they want, or at least clear out all these pink wards in the jungle and then reset.
TSM with a little bit of a miscall after that dragon.
Yeah.
You know, taking the dragon and trading it for this the last outer turret in mid is not the worst situation, but not immediately recalling after dragon and trying to come up through the jungle is just a poor call. So by canceling that, they aren't even able to defend their inhibitor turret. And really, that's the biggest thing for TSM. When you have Ziggs, the hardest thing that you should be defending are your inhibitor turrets, because those are ridiculously hard for teams to actually crack through in the late game, even if they are this far ahead. But if you are out of position for 1 second there, Dignitas immediately take down that inhibitor turret, and that is going to be a clear path for them.
Oh, man. I was just about to say, Dig would have had a great fight. We just had Mega Inferno Bomb come back up from being used on the inhibitor, but Dignitas has been kiting the fight on this one. Vision coming from Living Artillery, walks into the bush, gives up Dyrus as well. They already have a ward on the other side, so I guess it doesn't matter. There is the ultimate. Cutie Pie's in there. Amazing's trying to help, but he gets shredded down immediately. Turtle's on the outside, providing a great culling, but it's not enough to finish the job. And TSM's left pretty much spread out and looking at that fight from the outside.
Yeah, Amazing goes down. Even though TSM can chase Dig off, getting them low, again, no kills secured, no gold gained, and they don't have the power on the map to take any objective after this.
And Dignitas is giving themselves so many more options to create chaos in these fights. Let's look at this one more time.
So they focus onto the Kog'Maw. Amazing sees Kog'Maw right there, so he's like, great, I can catch this Kog. They land the bubble onto him, but look at the deeps coming out from the rest of Dignitas. Just blow up the tank. Good wave as well. Everything really that they wanted to hit Kog did.
Yeah.
And Shifter as well in the line of fire gets taken low. But Dignitas were able to take down frontline Amazing just so quickly that TSM can't grab anything after. This Baron going down very quickly, by the way.
Teleports are up. Dyrus just jumped on Zion Spartan in the bottom lane, so they're not teleporting into this. It's already been grabbed Baron onto Dignitas. The Whimsy in. What a shield that Zion Spartan gets. He's going to get some help from Shifter. They're going to lock down Dyrus, and they are going to lock down a long, strong mid push. Well, actually, I guess they're going to the side lanes. Mid's still down.
That's just TSM getting frustrated with this game. They know that it's really spiraled out of control for them, and Dyrus trying to make a play. This Zion doing a really good job, though. Number one thing people talk about with Lulu is how annoying he is to play against. Zion knows he's not really trying to just straight up 1v1 kill Dyrus. He's toying with Dyrus, harassing him and waiting for Shifter to come in. He knows he has his teammate to back him up. Even if Shifter hadn't come at that right time, Zion might have even been able to finish that himself as well. So
especially with the Baron buff.
Dig really with this game in hand.
Dignitas definitely very good at controlling their lead. Now up to 12,000 gold.
I have to say, there's
11,000.
so many different faces that we see from Dig, and this is the most calm that we've seen them execute a game in a while. At no point did they start to panic. At no point did they start to rush their calls.
Whimsy, such a great just counter to that, or counter strike, if you will. You're still having it after you're stunned. If you use it before it goes off, Dyrus just cannot get himself into the spot he wants. Crumb's going a bit ham under the turret, but they get one more shot on it. Oh, the wild card! Tag's amazing in the end. Cutie Pie a little too close for comfort. Shifter's got his gold card, though. They're safe to stay, and they're still on the inhibitor turret.
That was 3 versus 4
Ruh-roh.
up in the top.
That's
as well.
close. Getting a little too confident here.
Dyrus wants vengeance.
You gotta chase him.
He
You know,
can jump.
Whimsy. He turned you into a dragon. He's gone. 38 minutes in. TSM struggling to get Dignitas out of their base. Dyrus goes in hard on this one.
Yeah.
Look at a stun up.
Everybody just feels bad. Dyrus now.
Just when you think you got away. Gonna have Cutie Pie pushing mid now. Dignitas full control here on the game as they drop the middle inhibitor turret. Only a matter of time now before day 2 of Super Week kicks off with a Dig win.
You know, Scar also talked about in an interview how a lot of the times in North America, the teams are getting exactly what they want, both sides. And then it's really just up to execution of both teams and how that team wants to play. Dignitas definitely with the better execution this time around. Crumbs, though, he's going to get executed himself.
Almost.
Not quite able to get the turret in time.
Too bad, so sad. Comes up very close. 8-3. 3 more turrets rest on the map for Team Solo Mid. That's just gold in the pocket for Dignitas. About to win the game? Let me take a Wraith Can.
All right, now they're just padding their team numbers for fantasy. Collecting all the gold on the map. Chalk up another dragon for Dig, because they are going to be rich when they go back to base after this one.
See what the gold is. 17,000 to 14 just in that mid lane. A 3K gold lead for Shifter. 2K coming in for Cutie Pie over Wild Turtle. 3K for Zion Spartan. Just far and ahead.
4K for Crumbs. Everybody, 2 to 4K gold leads across the board for Dig members. And Crumbs kind of proves his point. You know, talking about how important early dragon control is to him.
Yeah.
That chain of global gold that they were able to secure.
And for him, a much more controlled game in general. I kind of wins when he picked up that Vi. Like we said, that was a 0-5-1 game last time. He still, you know, tried to go for the full damage build as we saw Dexter doing. And it just showed that Crumbs had a bad game, because right now he's putting his foot down. And he's been, 1, 2, and 4, but he's been in the right spots to facilitate this 9 and 4 huge gold lead that his team has.
Yeah, some smart choices from him definitely throughout the game as well. And yeah, now transitioning into that tank.
Yeah.
Randuin's, even in the nerfed state, pretty much one of the go-to armor and health items. Still not quite sold on the early Sunfire capes.
Ooh. It's like 600 shield coming out for Zion Spartan. Easily tanking up a few shots on the turret. Does a little damage still. Dyrus is getting Angar. He wants to do some damage. Whoa, Amazing goes in. Dyrus was in the mid lane, so they don't even get a full crowd control lockup. Kiwi Kid's gonna get hit up. Turtle's able to heal himself quite nicely with the help of Glee, but that's another inhibitor turret going down, Kobe. They're about to run amok in TSM's base.
And you can see how safe Dig were still playing. Even though Kiwi Kid about to go down, Lulu shields, Lulu ultimates all go to Cutie Pie. They don't even want to risk getting him low on him.
Yeah.
Kiwi Kid, though, might not be so happy about that one. Speaking of fantasy points.
5-0-3, Shift to the God, still alive somehow. He only died a few times yesterday.
Well, he's been playing,
Himself alive.
you know, fairly safe and calculated with that twisted fate
That's
as
true.
well. He hasn't gone for the risky.
Even with the Zanyas.
these.
Zanyas! Yeah, dodges out the bubble on the edge of his seat. Shifter stays alive on that one. Kiwi Kid has gone down previously, but you see Dig is still in the base despite that. Feels controlled, and they have minions pouring in from every single lane.
Good thing Loco did not go double or nothing on that bet with Skara.
Oh,
Dignitas
man.
really seemed to have TSM's number. What would be double or nothing on a bowl cut?
I don't know. I don't even have anything good enough for that. You gotta get Freak on the desk.
I guess they'd have to redo the bowl cut, as the first one, not very bowl-like anymore.
It'd be like just half of your head is a bowl cut and the other head is shaved vertically down the middle. Yeah.
No, he's just got to wear an actual bowl on his head for the next week.
Nice.
All right, Dig finally, though, with all inhibitors down, everything on the map taken, they have to go finish this game now. There are really like
Do
no
they?
other options. Well, Crumbs is
I don't know if
farming
they
the
have
jungle
to.
still. Crumbs is farming white right now. What are you doing? You don't need that money.
How do you make your fans happy? You give them fantasy points.
There's nothing else for him to buy.
Hell, I have
oh
Shifter.
my God.
I have Shifter and Zion. I'm smiling.
All right. Well, if you have the Dig team, you get points for all of the objectives that they take. So another
No,
Baron would
I have
be
Team
big.
Solo Mid.
Ah.
Oh, man. Dignitas back on Baron 43 minutes into this one. And it's going to be dead quite fast. TSM still kind of trying to put out the fire in their base at this point. Woo! 14,000 gold lead coming in strong as Dig looks to drive to the Nexus.
Oh, man.
Nope,
They're
never mind.
taking
Red bomb.
everything. They have to clean the whole map.
When you
before they
well,
go in.
when you party this hard, usually you clean
Okay.
up before you leave.
There you go. That's just common courtesy.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't just leave. That's rude. You got to deliver. 10-5, Dig looking to deliver here. Hopefully, this is going to be another inhibitor going down. I think this is the third time mid has gone down.
They're
A good
just-
fight being put up by Team Solo Mid here, but Dignitas, they're giving them a little too much breathing room at this point.
Reveling in their success so
Yeah.
far. Dig with the complete victory.
There we go. Just because the camera pans to the Nexus doesn't mean Dig wants to. Finally, Cutie Pie's on the turrets. We're going to get one down. A 15,000 gold lead. The last initiation TSM wants to throw in. They're going for broke. A great ultimate by Crumbs. They're able to lock down Amazing. He goes down. Bjergsen's going gold for just a few before he goes into the coffin as well. The triple kill's coming out. Shifter looking for another Penta possibly, but he is very low, and the Nexus will be even lower. Dignitas takes down Team Solo Mid. So there's a win that took a while with a smile.
Yeah. Dignitas pretty happy with that one. They've been feeling like they had that one in the bag for a while here. Very well executed.
Yeah, it was.
Really just one single hiccup was it. And it was only a single kill that they kind of gave away with Crumbs going for the riskier vision.
Right.
But really, other than that, what a strong game from Dig. Almost flawless from them.
Big smile on Skara's face as he tells the team, just pack up. We'll talk later. Great game. Crumbs, again, coming out on the bye. Had, like we said, a pretty poor showing last time. It was a tough game for him. And this time, we saw the consideration in his ganks. He went top lane to leave it for mid lane first blood, and the right choice.
He's a guy who actually enjoys the games where the top three junglers are banned out. And you open up the field to everybody else. So he's actually pretty happy that he got to get some variety in his life.
And strong play brought to the top lane as well. Zion and Dyrus both didn't have amazing scores. It's 1-2-7, 1-4-0. But they definitely gave Dyrus hell. They made sure that he couldn't be a late game factor. And we even saw it kind of, once they knew the game was kind of folded under for them, they were just kind of trying everything. And sometimes you need to, but it was hurting even more.
It was just such a well-rounded comp here from Dig. They had early pick possibilities with dives with the Vi and TF and Braum. And then they had a late game insurance with Kog'Maw. So much map control from them all game long. TSM, though, a little bit sad with the way that one went. They went back to the same thing they used yesterday and not quite as effective this time around, to say the least.
It wasn't too long ago that these teams played. That was just back in week 5. That was also a 40-minute game. So we see these kind of consistent in the times, but Dignitas now in 2-1 in those overall matchups. So they're really able to find what TSM figures out in these games. The fact that they can go after Bjergsen and kind of take that key factor out of the team and kind of quiet the voice right off the bat.
Bjergsen had over 500 CS there on Ziggs.
Yeah.
But it was fairly quiet. This is not the Bjergsen that we're used to seeing from TSM. They banned out, Dignitas banned out Yasuo, which was one of the assassins that he's been going back to.
Yeah.
And Bjergsen not on an assassin, TSM looked completely different. Now, that was the plan, though, because they got, the wave clear, and they were relying on Jax for the damage. But
that's a good point. It was a little weird to not see Bjergsen the kind of a focus of a TSM game from their side. Yeah, Dig focused them, but he wasn't making plays. When we usually saw his attacks, it was a Mega Inferno bomb to another lane, and we weren't really watching Bjergsen. We hardly saw him this game. So that's just how much Dig kind of caused chaos on the map, didn't allow a Ziggs to roam. And they were also trying to take Shifter's blue buff, but that didn't work in the beginning either. Dig was able to shut down quite a bit. So make sure you share favorite moments. Share your favorite moments. Those are words from today by tweeting at LOL Esports. Use the hashtag LCS Big Plays. Right now, we're going to throw it over to Dash and Zyrene for a word with one of the winners.
Thanks, Riv. We're joined by Dig's jungler Crumbs, fresh off yet another win against TSM. You're now 3-0 against them this split. So my first question to you is, why do you have their number? What's going on?
I feel like their picks change every single week that we play them. They're just a completely different style every single time, and it's kind of, I don't think they've just found their own stride. I don't think it's that we have their number. I think that they're just struggling to just stick with one specific kind of team comp and style that they want to run. And if you're not playing at your optimal style, then you're gonna suffer.
All right, and let's go back to Champions Select here. You talked about their picks. You guys didn't take Jax first pick. You let them have it. Yet you guys both had comeback victories off of Jax yesterday. What was the thought process behind that?
So we knew that they really valued Jax because they first picked it yesterday against Curse. So obviously you want to put that champion in a really high priority. We thought they'd take it early, and they actually took it in the first rotation. But we didn't really care because we thought that we'd be able to just out-team fight them. So we came in with a game plan as to how to deal with a split push pressure, and we ended up just taking Vi, which is a really good... It's kind of like a Nocturne almost. That if you're split pushing alone, you're going to get caught out. Vi with Twisted Fate. If you're just trying to split push, you're going to get collapsed on every single time. And Lulu is a really strong lane bully, and they didn't actually ban out Lulu, which means that we could have the early advantage on the Jax in the beginning of the game, which meant that I thought they were going to put a lot of pressure on the Lulu lane, especially with the D-Blade start on Jax, but I guess not. And then that meant that we had a really strong lane bully in the beginning of the lane for Jax, which meant that it just stalls longer for how much time he needs to ramp up and just be that split push monster.
Well, you managed to get that Vi, and then we saw the effectiveness of it. We're going to jump to a replay. 4 minutes in, it's the first blood that you get in the mid lane. And just kind of walk us through it, your thoughts.
So I knew that he warded that, but we also knew that Jax had not warded a something top. So I had a free time to gank him from behind. And just a knockback puts him right in range for that. And then I just try to flash in front of the satchel charge so that it knocks me forward and not backwards. And with Shifter flashing after me, I just try to tank a little bit of the turret so that he didn't get the aggro and free kill. Even though none of our mid laners have Ignite, that just meant that with so much damage on Vi, with pretty much a fully charged Vault Breaker with the armor reduction and gold card, we were able to kill him even if it Ziggs with heal.
Right, so we saw the first blood mid lane, which helps your mid laner. We also have Lulu in the top lane who's pressuring Jax hard. Now that you've established this early dominance and early lead, as one of the leaders of the team, what are the next steps? What are you telling your team that you need to do now to ensure victory?
Well, Dragon's the only thing that matters. So we managed to push out Jax and pressure him so much, which we just basically established a lot of ward controls around mid lane, making it so that TF could just go unseen, which puts a lot of split Destiny pressure. So we're thinking the enemy team's just like, oh, well, TF is off the map. He's looking for a play. So by hiding Twisted Fate and me showing up top, making it really obvious that a gank is happening, we're able to shut down Jax and eventually force his teleport back to lane after Lulu chunking him, which meant that since our Lulu had a teleport, we're able to just head down a dragon and get free dragons, which was pretty much the story of the game. We just got a bunch of free dragons because we outplayed them with the teleports.
Another story of the game, though, is you guys went for 3 Barons, and the first one was at 27 minutes. That was actually a pretty big change for Dignitas in the overall. You guys have pretty much shied away from it and thrown at it a couple times, and notorious for that. Why is that changed now? And you guys just have so much control, and it seems so easy for you now to take those Barons.
I don't think this split we've actually thrown that Baron, really. We're getting really good at just understanding when to do it, and it's just a matter of really thinking about it. Because before, we'd use Baron as a tool of, oh, we're losing, let's just try Baron. Right? Or, oh, we're even. Oh, let's just try Baron. Let's just see what happens. So now we're actually, okay, well, Baron, we can use this as a tool to actually get it if they're not in range, or we can just bait it in. Now, we failed to do that a couple of times, but we managed to not really do anything because we had such a good position on them that they're not able to capitalize on our damage from Baron quickly enough. So we just basically tried many times until we managed to catch them at doing Dragon as 2, and then we just got a free Baron off that. So it just puts a lot of pressure on the map, especially with the Destiny, that you just walking into it makes it really dangerous for the opposing team.
Yeah, we saw yet another example of that Baron control and pressure that you were talking about at 35 minutes, where off the heels of the Baron, you guys managed to catch Jax in the red side jungle. So we're actually going to pull that replay up. It's 35 minutes. Just explain to me kind of the thought process of having that Destiny pressure and things like that.
Oh, so right now we just finished a Baron because I think we had killed Jarvan, so we had a lot of time, and Jax is really trying to kill Lulu, which I don't think he can kill him on his own anyways, but Lulu just tried to kite him out long enough because if he dies with no flash, by the time he spawns, we're able to establish good position into our lanes and just kill him again. So this is just a standard. There's nothing too special about this gank. It's just Lulu kiting him out while waiting for Twisted Fate, but him going for that play is a really desperate move by him. He's just trying to make something happen, and in reality, you're never going to kill Lulu as Jax like that, even if you have red buff. So eventually, it just backfired, and at that point, I feel like that game was pretty over for them. It was just a matter of how long can you stall with Ziggs.
And you guys are now tying CLG for first place again. Nobody's really run away with it this split. Who do you guys think is right on your heels, and who is your biggest competition right now in the LCS?
I think every team's just strong right now. Obviously, CLG is pretty solid. We're 2-0-2 against them, and they've beaten us every time. But I think that it's just a matter of who can be better, really. Because I really like the showing that we had against TSM this game, because I felt like we were aggressors this time around. Like maybe they didn't do what they wanted to do, but in the end, we managed to be aggressive against something like a Ziggs and make the plays that we needed to do to win. So that shows that we have an understanding as to what we need to do to win a game and not just win off the mistakes of the opponent.
All right, well, tomorrow you guys actually have your 2-game day against Complexity and Cloud9. What are you guys looking to do to prepare for those two teams? Anything special coming out?
Well, not really. I mean, our picks and bans are just the only crazy thing that you'd be able to see. But besides that, Complexity looked really solid yesterday against CLG, which they had a game, I think, like a 5K gold lead at 10 minutes, which they should have won off that decidedly. But they ended up throwing a Baron. But they looked really good, and they're playing up next against EG. So just scouting out their matches and just being able to formulate something about the information you can gather from 2 matches in a row should prepare better plans for the future games that we have. Same thing goes for C9.
All right, just to touch on that a little bit more, the statistics have said that you guys perform very well at the very beginnings of weeks, either beginning or middle of weeks, and tend to lose more of your games that happen on Sundays or near the end of the week. Is that something that's in your guys' head that you're thinking about? Is there a reason why that might be?
I never even thought of that, really. I always thought it was that it was the beginning of the split, not in terms of days. So I don't really know where that's coming from anyways, but as far as I know, I mean, it's already late. Isn't that late in the split already? It's week 7, so I feel like we've already gotten that past that part of, oh, you guys are just getting lucky in the beginning. But as far as playing on Sunday, I mean, if anything, our worst game would have been a day, because we don't like waking up this early. For us, waking up early is 9 a.m. It's like, oh, don't wake me up at this hour. But we were able to actually pull it off, sleep early, and do that. So since tomorrow we don't play first game, I think we'll be fine.
An interesting point, though, is 4 of your 5 losses are on the last day of the week.
Wow, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess I didn't consider that stat.
A little statistical knowledge for you.
Oh, don't psych me out. I think it'll be fine.
Oh, what is it? Oh.
All right, well, regardless, great performance today. Best of luck tomorrow, and thank you for joining us on the desk. All right, don't go anywhere. After a quick break, we'll be right back with more action as Complexity storms onto the Rift to face off against Evil Geniuses. Stay tuned.
Skarner got buffed, and he's like, one last game for Skarner.
No flash this time for Glebe, remember.
Oh, he used the shield to stop it up. PewDiePie's hit the long-range Bio Arcane and the Living Artillery. So I guess it doesn't matter. There is the ultimate. PewDiePie's in there. Amazing's trying to help, but he gets shredded down immediately. Turtle's on the outside, providing a great culling. The last initiation, TSM wants to throw in. They're going for broke. A great ultimate by Crumbs. They're able to lock down Amazing. He goes down. Bjergsen's going gold for just a few before he goes into the coffin as well.